I'll tell you the first thing you need to know immediately to build an app so fast that it feels illegal is to create a deadline as if it's a school assignment. Now just hold on, before you hate the idea, like listen to this, really. Imagine your app is actually worth like 40% of your semester grade. It's a group project, but somehow you're working alone on it, but regardless. You have to do it in 3 weeks time. You have a specific due date, like a due time when you have to submit it. Submission will of course be like completion or launch. It helps. It helps. Now I can say from experience that this helped me. Not specifically imagining the 40% semester grade, but I completed an app. I'm not kidding. In one night, I wrote 3,000 lines of code in one night because the deadline was the next day. I didn't sleep till 5 a.m. and I woke up 2 hours later after that. But nonetheless, it was worth it. When you have a stricter deadline, a timeline, it has that time pressure. And you don't change the deadline. You have a hard set deadline and you promise to yourself that you're going to complete it. And so this is where you have to figure out the optimal time. So you don't procrastinate like me and spend an entire night doing it. You have to figure out, can I finish it in 3 weeks or will I have to take 2 months? Whatever the optimal time is, set it as that and don't change from it. Because I remember with my first project, I changed from it so many times that I was 6 months into developing it. And then eventually I quit and hopped to another idea. So find an optimal time and go ahead with it. And this is what is called Parkinson's law. You have definitely heard of it, but your actions are not saying that you understand that law. And if you give yourself the right amount of time, you'll build something that's actually good while doing it fast. Instead of being on day 734 in your basement coding something that nobody's ever going to see, right? That's what creates speed. But here's the thing, creating a deadline as if you're in school does not help on its own entirely. What you have to do to supplement that is to make milestones for your deadline. So setting a deadline itself is not enough. You have to set yourself little progress steps, little baby steps before getting to the deadline. To make it like clear where you're going, to make your progress essentially like palpable, you can say, okay, this time I completed this, and you can visibly see your progress, and that kind of way. And so what I'm saying is this time you'll create a backend, this time you'll create a front end, this specific feature of your app, whatever it is, complete by this date, and then the next feature you complete by another date. And now I actually did this with my next project after the one that I had spent 6 months on, and it was much better. I managed to pace myself correctly and get it done way faster rather than spending a lot of time in my own room, stinking up the room and not going outside and touching grass. And so in order for you to be able to build something great while also touching grass and having a life, you should also try milestones, mini baby steps that you kind of make out towards your goal. And here's the thing as well, this creates a kind of consistency that maybe looking in as you're doing these tasks, it feels slow. It's like feature after feature, maybe I'll get it done, or when am I going to get it done? But if you zoom out, you're way faster than you were before, because I can promise you, me spending 2 months on trying to figure out how a pop-up works because I have no real goal and I'm pushing away my kind of launch deadline farther and farther is considerably worse, and I mean just bad, in comparison to having this feature done by this date, that feature done by that date, and so on and so forth. And so it creates a consistency that results in a kind of speed when you zoom out. You look at your progress and you zoom out and you actually understand, wow, I'm actually making a lot of progress. I'm gonna complete it in no time. There's also something else that I realized that is very important in creating such speed that it feels illegal, that it feels like you're breaking the law, is that you need to write it down exactly what you're trying to build in terms of the features. Your milestones need to be so detailed that you can completely turn your brain off and come home from wherever you come from and just do it, turning off your brain, just looking at what you have to do, and that's it. So what am I talking about? You have a feature over here. It's due by this point. Don't just say, okay, sign up feature. Instead, write down 3 things that I learned to write down. First of all, of course, the name of the feature, then the steps to get there, and then the desired outcome, so how it's supposed to work. So for example, instead of saying sign up feature, you'll say multi-step sign up feature. The steps are, first, use this sort of library, figure out how it works, then use a sign up form on some kind of page, then send over data from client side to server, then store data in the database, and then store data in the session cookies, and then redirect the user to the main page. Something like that. That's an example of how you could do these steps. Just make it so that when you come back from home, from wherever you are, from school, you can just turn off your brain and just do the steps one by one, checking off each one very easily day by day. And when it comes to the outcome, you have to describe it in a way that perfectly encapsulates what you're thinking of. If the feature is, for example, an AI recommendation algorithm for a social media platform, let's say, for instance, you should say exactly how it's supposed to work. The outcome is that it tailors it to the specific needs of the user by analyzing this, and this, right? And you could make this little plan type of thing, writing down exactly what you want to build. At like 10 p.m., you're about to go to sleep, you're playing blitz chess online, and you don't really have much to do, so you can just start this process and get it done. And then for the next day, you already have a plan that you can just turn your brain off for, and that's it. This kind of process is what I like because it creates brain dead speed. You're also building something that's good. You're also building something that's high quality code and everything like that, because you have your steps outlined, you clearly know what you're trying to do, but you can also just come home, just get it done, doesn't matter, check the box, and then move on to the next thing, rather than procrastinating and watching YouTube videos like this, for example. So as a little activity, I guess you can say, I suggest you try it right now. For your next feature, whatever it is, pull out like a notepad app, or your notes app on your phone, and then just write down exactly what type of feature you want, when you want it done, and by this 3-step process: name, steps, outcome, right? What feature you want to build, well, what steps there has to be to get there, and what kind of outcome should it be, like the exact description. Be fairly detailed, but not too detailed that's kind of stupid. And so that gives you that speed. And so, as I said, personal experience, I built an LLM this way. That was my next project after the 6 months project. And generally, I just use this method a lot. I love this method of just being brain dead and just going down this process. Now, the next point is to use AI for everything that you don't know, and specifically that is simple. Now, see, when you're making an app, whatever you're doing, whether you're making a Minecraft server or whether you're making an AI agent or whatever the hell you're making, you will get to the point where AI simply cannot be good at suggesting how to build an app, because you have so many lines of code. You have thousands upon thousands of lines of code. It's just not easy for an AI to understand what the hell's going on and to create a feature that actually works, managing especially all of the idiosyncrasies of your local system and file system and everything like that. Idiosyncrasies just means like specific details about specifically like your project. So anything that's complex and context heavy, that is what you do. Anything that's fairly simple and that you don't know, you just don't know it yet, just AI it. It doesn't matter, you don't have to learn it. And for me, what that is like HTML and CSS, right? I'm not sure how to create the best animations or how to center a div or do whatever the hell. I don't really care. I'm just going to put my HTML code into the AI system and just say, can you please make it so that it's centered? Put the extended like reasoning feature, and that's it. It's done. Because also, if you start using it for more complicated things that require context and things like that, you will put in something that will not work, and then you'll have to start debugging the code, and then you'll have to start messing around with it. Then you'll try to delete all of it and realize that you didn't back up the version because you were procrastinating watching videos like this before. It creates so many problems. It's not worth it. Just go with the simple plus don't know whatever thing that you need to do. Just do it with AI. And again, that makes you so much faster, right? AI is not particularly great at understanding the most complicated things, especially if it's just a chat interface. If it's not personalized for you and it doesn't know all of the details of your project, then it's of course not going to know. But you could still just use it in a way that makes you way faster. Next thing is mainly for myself, I cannot lie, but it's to not get stuck. Sometimes my code will not work and I don't know what the problem is. I cannot figure it out. It seems to be such a small issue. It's like as if I loaded up my code yesterday, it was working completely fine. Now I'm loading it up, it doesn't work. I don't understand what's happening. I look up all of Stack Overflow forums. I cannot understand the root cause of the issue at all. Trying to AI it doesn't work. Documentations, anything, just cannot find an answer. And so that's where I get this kind of slow fogginess that I feel, this confusing, slow kind of point, and then I cannot really follow up with my milestones because I don't know what the hell the problem is in the code, and it makes me rage, and it still makes me rage to this day, where I'll have an error that in 6 hours of debugging I found out the problem of which was a trailing comma, a comma at the end of some file somewhere buried somewhere that I had to remove for the entire system to work. And so it creates these confusing and slow and foggy moments where I take hours on end, maybe days on end, depending on what type of error I'm trying to debug, and I don't know like how to continue, especially because with me, I personally think I'm cursed with some kind of error demons, debugging demons that believe that they should terrorize me and give me errors that are very tiny, take a very long time, and eventually have a very easy fix. But anyway, the point is you should not get into these little periods of time. If there is such a period, immediately find out what to do. Okay, you're going to say to yourself, in these next how many hours, you're going to figure out the exact problem through all of Stack Overflow, everything. You're going to try literally everything that there possibly can be. Every fix, every thing that you can possibly imagine, and go through like trial and error trying to figure out what it is. And you should really estimate the time that it takes you to do this, to find the problem and to fix it and everything like that, and make it so that it works with the rest of your milestones. Maybe you'll have to push a milestone back a day or something like that. But that's fine, so long as you can fix the error. But the point is to not let the rut drag on, because if you do, you will again continue procrastinating, and then your deadline will get pushed back, and then your milestones will get pushed back. Your speed of development, of building your app, will be very much in the legal range, right there under the speed limit. But if you want to go so fast that it feels illegal, do not let it drag on. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful for you, even if slightly. If you want an AI tool though, to help you build apps so fast that it feels illegal, then I suggest you try Stellar AI. It's currently in early access and you can sign up with a link in the description for free.